Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we're going to be taking a look through The Art of Ron Lesser, Volume 1, Deadly Dames and Sexy Sirens, a fantastic new book, so sit back, relax, and let's take a look. Okay then, so this one is in hardback and it's absolutely gorgeous. Lovely glossy cover here with this really distinctive, almost typical Ron Lesser, beautiful painted cover there. And it really deserves the hardback treatment, this one, because the artwork just looks so great, and you'll see in a moment when we go through just what a high quality publication this one is. This one's designed by Bill Cunningham of Pulp 2.0, and Bill's an old master, you could say, of publishing these sorts of books and designing them, and this one is no exception. So as you can see, it really is a beautiful paper, and it's just a delight to go through. So I've been through it a couple of times now and really soaked it in. So it's edited by Robert Dice, Bill Cunningham, and a newcomer for me, J. Kingston Pierce. Now, J. Kingston Pierce runs a blog. He's also got an absolutely amazing paperback collection, so I'm very jealous of that. And J. Kingston Pierce did an interview with Ron Lesser, who I'm happy to say is still alive, and that interview is sort of interspersed with this look at Ron's career. So this is very much volume 1, and it's the first sort of 20 years of Ron's career, so 1959 to 1979, which was predominantly paperbacks, but towards the end we will see some of his movie poster artwork starting to creep in into his workflow. Here is J. Kingston Pierce there, and this is the start of the interview. And paperback collectors may recognise some of his more modern work from Hard Case Crime, who used his artwork on some of these jackets here, and these are the Max Allan Collins Quarry ones, very distinctive. But the book is laid out almost chronologically, so you get to see how his artwork style progresses. As you would imagine, someone who worked in the industry or has worked in the industry for so long, he got to meet and work with all the professionals of that era. All the big models, of course, were used. People like Steve Holland, and all the main female models of the era were there. And we'll see lots of them as we go along, really. I said he did his fair share of movie posters and book jackets as well. I mean, literally thousands of book jackets. That's one of the most iconic ones there for High Plains Drifter, with that almost iconic image there of Clint Eastwood. Dean Martin there, once again, a classic sort of image of Dean Martin. And then something very recent there, you know, the 2017, I think that was the soundtrack to Atomic Blonde with Charlize Theron there on the front. It's absolutely gorgeous. So as you can see, quite a varied career, and I reckon every sort of paperback collector's got some books with covers by him on. And the interview is really fascinating, and it shows what he did, where he got his references from as well. As he was growing up, he had a big comic book collection, and used to go to various shops in New York, bookshops, and pick up stills, movie stills, that sort of thing. In his later work, after his movie poster artwork sort of dried up, he does sort of commissions now for galleries, and these are sold online, and there's 4 or 5 galleries. He does lots of Civil War stuff as well. Look at this incredible painting there. Sports stuff, you know, modern personalities. There's Marilyn Monroe. And there is a great website, so if you're interested in actually picking up an original, artbyronlesser.com is the place to head as your first sort of port of call. But here we are then, so 1959, the start of Ron's career. And I'm sure as you go through, you'll recognise books that you've either seen before or you've already got in your collection. I've certainly seen a few of the Richard Prather ones. I haven't got loads, I would say, that are in this book, but I've definitely got some. And it's very nice to see them. This is something, Claudia there, Claudia Lesser, which was Ron's wife. Obviously used many times on the covers, and these Shel Scott books, I mean, they sold absolutely stacks, didn't they, by Richard S. Prather, and Ron painted absolutely loads of the covers, so you're bound to have a few of those in your library. There's the one from the cover there, 1962 this was. And as would often be the case, one piece of artwork, this is the original, would be reused multiple times, often without the artist actually getting paid. They get paid for the first time it was used, and that would be about it. So that is really, I guess it was just a hazard of the industry, because that happened to all the artists, didn't it? Even in the UK, the artwork would get pinched and lifted and flipped over and reused, different backgrounds put on. A bit of a shame, but that's how it goes. I've seen a few of these. These Fu Manchu books are very, very nice. I wouldn't mind picking up those pyramid editions there. They are gorgeous. And it's layouts like this is what Bill does so well. And you can recognise his style of layout. I think there's another classic Steve Holland there. What a model he was. There's the Earl Stanley Gardeners. Of course, he did some interior work for the Men's Adventure magazines. These are from Argosy. April '64, these ones. As I said, they try and the authors would try to lay this out in chronological order, which is a great way of doing it. So as the series progresses, we can see how the art style progresses as well. Eileen Reynolds there, another one of the models. Johnny Lydell mystery. I haven't got any of these. These are published by Dell. Not one that's come my way, but don't they look good? And there's a perfect example there of the artwork being reused there by a publisher a year or two later. I don't suppose there was anything they could really do about it. It was just, it was par for the course, wasn't it? As well as seeing how Ron's artwork style changes over the years, which it doesn't a lot. I'd just say it's classic right from the offset. You do see sort of how paperback cover design changes throughout the decades here, which is great. And I love where they've got, where if someone's got an original, they've managed to get some photographs of it, then the reference photos, which is what we've got here, then the finished book as well, which is what you see in the entire process. Absolutely fantastic. Lisa Karen, another model. And lots and lots of John MacDonald titles were done. And the thing is, when an artist gets assigned to one of these, the series itself gets a distinctive look. And I think the publishers probably just wanted to keep that going. So, and why not, when they look this good? 1966 now. That's a great one, that, isn't it? What beautiful artwork there for Pleasure Island. Look at that. That is gorgeous. He mentions that originally he did, in the interview, he mentions that he originally did this one, and the lady was completely topless, but then he had to go back and, or I think another artist actually painted over the baubles because it was a little bit too risque. And if you're a paperback fan like me, you just look at these sorts of books and you just soak it up, and this is no exception. As I said, I've read it through twice now, and I just love it. This is the third time I've been through it page by page, and there's so many here. I almost want to go through and make a little list of some of the titles I've seen here that I think, I'd love to get a copy of that. I'm going to put that on my wants list. Simply based on the cover artwork. Now, of course, around this sort of time, 66, 67, 68, the Gothic sort of period came in, the Gothic romance, and, like any working artist, Ron would have had to have moved with this latest trend in paperbacks, and these are just classic in it. That is absolutely stunning, that one. What a beautiful, beautiful piece of artwork, and it was a wraparound. Yeah, the Gothic novel, The Shaking Shadow, by Elizabeth Stewart. That was Signet, 1967. That must have been one of the very earliest Gothics, because it was just about when they started coming in, wasn't it? In 1968 here. Once again, a little bit of the Gothic. This was, I believe, that cover there, All for a Stranger, and there's a great blow-up of the face there. That was based on Brigitte Bardot. A black and white still from her 1960 film La Verite, and then used for All for a Stranger. She was another great model, wasn't she? That one there, it doesn't mention it, but it looks to me like Elizabeth Taylor, although I can't see any mention of that in the actual interview, but that's who that looks like to me. would have also been, you know, very, very big around this time. Huge star. Also, this is another one. This is on my list. Boarding House. Look at this one. I'm going to pull it right in. Look at that cover there. I think that's fantastic. What attracts me, there's a lot of, it's a full, right to the edge, so it's a full piece of artwork, but then the publisher, I think is it McFadden? Yeah, McFadden have done a very clever job by not spoiling the artwork, by putting like the title there, Boarding House, over like a blacked out window, and they've kept the actual cover text to a minimum. I think that one's fantastic. That's definitely one that's been put on my my wants list, is one I wouldn't mind picking up and adding to my own collection. I think it was one of the best covers on here, so I would have loved to have seen a slightly bigger picture of that one, but that's just me. That's my personal opinion. So here's another one where we got the original art there, the chain manuscript, and then the artwork was reused on this like a early porn movie poster by Ron Jeremy in the cast, where they put a mirror behind her and a pink background. Of course, Ron never got paid for that. He would have just got the original commission. Here's another one where here's the original piece of artwork for the Shell Scott sampler, and then it was flipped over and then used on the Men's Adventure Guy magazine. I suppose at the time, I mean, if I'd have seen something that I'd drawn and then it'd be pinched, I would have gone mental. But what can you do? What could you do back then? 70, 71. Lovely stuff here. And of course, you know, in the America and in the UK, around this sort of time, we started getting photograph covers, and I guess the painted covers started to go into decline, which is a real shame. But obviously, there was still a market for it. But maybe that's why Ron then started to move more towards the movie poster artwork. This is a really nice piece of art, and this is owned by artist Joe Jusko, another artist who I absolutely love his comic book work. And that's Steve Holland there, of course, set down. What an absolute classic that is. Absolutely beautiful. And there it's used on that book there, Del Shannon's Unexpected Death. Really, really nice piece of artwork. I bet that's great in the flesh. This was interesting. This was this one by Sam Durrell here. Assignment Zorea, Edward Aarons, and the actual artwork for this one. That's again, I'll pull it up close. The artwork for this one was flipped, so Ron's signature is actually back to front because the artwork was just sort of mirrored, so that the woman was facing to the left here, and they could do the cover text on the left-hand side rather than the right. On that's a Fawcett Gold medal, that one. Very, very cool. Brilliant stuff here. Crazy in Berlin. This is another model who we used during this sort of period, Jane Minion, and she was the artist on all the next couple of pages worth of covers here. And this is he was commissioned to do the cover artwork for Sophia Loren's autobiography, or biography, I should say, not autobiography. This is a more recent one that he did. Now we've got some of his movie art right now. Probably his most famous movie poster of all was Zardos, which is that one there, and also that was it was so good it was reused on the paperback cover as well. He says he never got the Zardos artwork back, even though it actually won an award. Doesn't know where it is. I don't know if it's in the hands of a private collector or possibly in a studio's archive. That's where these things, I think, tend to end up. But what a great bit of artwork. And this period here is some of his movie artworks from this sort of late-ish 70s, mid to late 70s period. Didn't know anything about this. Neil Connery, it's Sean Connery's younger brother, and a forgettable movie, Operation Kid Brother. A few of these, and none of them. I mean, none of these films actually were mega. There's a David McCallum one there, and Rod Steiger was in that one. This is a British one here. Only When I Laugh. It was based on a Len Deighton novel. and he was actually the a producer, I think. Yeah, he was the producer of that one. That's Peter Sellers and Goldie Hawn for There's a Girl in My Soup. And a couple of pieces like this one I thought was to be done for Playboy, but they haven't been able to find it. This is one of the much more recent pieces, and it's obviously Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. This one's available to view at the Amazing Gallery in Las Vegas. A really nice piece of artwork that shows, you know, he can turn his hand to the more modern properties. And these are some of the other places where you can actually look at and purchase some of Ron's original artwork. So as I said, the Amazing Gallery in Las Vegas. You've got going to the Sun Gallery and the Illustrated Gallery, which is online, and River Road Gallery. So all of those places. But as I said, the main website for Ron is artbyronlesser.com. It'll have links to all of these anyway, so that's really the only website you need. And there he is. There he is, still going strong, still painting every single day apparently, which is fantastic. And yeah, long may it continue. And this is, as I said, this is just volume 1. So to be continued in the Art of Ron Lesser volumes 2 and 3, where they look at other aspects of his career. So there we go. How cool is that? And as you can see, it's beautifully produced, as I said, and it's a really, really great addition to your paperback library, I would say. So thanks once again to the publishers and the authors for sending me a copy for review. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it comes with my highest possible recommendation. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching today. If you've enjoyed today's show, do please give it the thumbs up. Do please hit that subscribe button if you're not already for regular vintage paperback content, and I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.